Well, looking for ways to dress up things that I made, I came across sublimation printing. And this is my Mophorn 15x15 heat press. And it comes with a flat mug and plate presses. There's one other attachment that really sucks, but we'll look at that a little later. The heart of this system is the 15x15 heat press. And like the rest of the attachments, that is all powered and timed through the central control unit. The operating handle and framework are all very tough for a machine of this size. Applying the proper amount of heat and a consistent pressure is key to getting heat transfer vinyl to seat properly. The upper portion of the machine swings out of the way that gives you good access to the lower platen, and it means that I don't burn myself near as much as I could. We adjust the pressure on this machine by raising and lowering the upper platen. Once you get the pressure where you want it, there's very seldom any changes needed unless you go to a different attachment. The upper attachments all mount to the spring-loaded flange. Under pressure, the upper platen more or less floats in these springs, and that evens out the pressure across the surface. This is a very simple, very effective mechanism. To change the upper fixtures, we just loosen both of the screws that hold it to the flange. Then you just slip the screws down through the holes and remove it. There's nothing fancy here, it's just simple and it works. We adjust the temperature and the pressing time on this control unit. Once adjusted, those settings remain until you change them. The control unit slips off of its mount to make it easier to change the cables out when you change attachments. This little switch on the upper arm is what starts and stops the timer. I need to epoxy a little piece of wood around this screw to even it up. When that arm slips off of the screw, the timer starts, and it can't jump back up on the screw, so you have to reach in there and put it back up yourself. So far, this is the biggest problem I've had with the flat pressing unit. All of the upper attachments have their own heating cables, but they all use the same timer on that upper arm. The mug press has its own heating element and timer, so both of those cables are attached to the control unit. Here again, the mechanism is simple but very effective. The heat and timer cables have different numbers of pins, so you can't get them plugged in the wrong place. The mug press is very simple to use. Your biggest job is setting it to the right temperature and time, clamping the mug in and waiting. The amount of pressure applied to the mug is adjusted with this collar. Here again, once you get it to where you like it, you just leave it alone. There's very little adjustments ever needed again. The lower fixtures are mounted to slides on the base, and there's nothing holding them in, they're just friction. Being able to slide the base parts in and out, it does come in handy sometimes. This is the lower portion of the hat pressing attachment. I thought we'd save the worst for last. I brought the hat attachment out just to show you, and the upper portion attaches to the flange just like everything else. And this is where one machine trying to be too many things squirrels right off the rails. To get the other platen to swing by the lower platen, you have to raise it a bunch. And by the time you get it high enough so that it'll clear the lower platen, it doesn't have any clamping pressure. And if you lower it enough to get the clamping pressure, it won't swing past the lower platen again, even without a hat. This is the real hat press that I bought to replace that, and we can see right away that there's a problem here in terms of height. But for hats, it's important. The real hat press has enough height that they can add this hat keeper that's spring-loaded and keeps the hat under tension. The lower one has real issues here. I tried all kinds of things from rubber band to tape to try and hold this hat taut on the stand. What works best is holding it with both hands, but then you can't bring the press over. And that's why my hat attachment stays on top of a shelf where I can't see it. It came out just for this video, the video's done, and now it's back up there where it belongs. Where this outfit shines is making t-shirts, plates, and mugs. You just set it up for the job and keep using it. Since I started using this press, my work has turned out a lot better. Whenever I'm pressing using anything but the hat attachment, I can just stand around and know that this is going to come out fine. The heat and pressure are controlled and are consistent. And when I get to the end of the time cycle, I can't wait to pull the paper up and see what happened. And since I got this outfit, lots of good things are happening. So if you want to get serious about heat pressing, you need to consider an outfit like this.